Pounders. Week 16. I hope everyone's BBM4 teams are alive and well. I also hope you're not in my pods. Guys, if you haven't already, smash the like on the way in. Subscribe to the channel if you play fantasy football. Bestball on Underdog. It's almost draft season, which someone brought up the other day. They're like, when's the draft guy going to be ready? I'm like, it's December right now. It's crazy. The Think Forward crew is in the house, and I'm here for it. We're drafting as early as like January 31st. I actually take pride in being in first place in that $3 draft. Take it down. 12-man league. Take it down. I guess we'll just touch on real quick before we jump into the Battle Royale stuff. And this will just take a sec. The exposures, we're advancing 2 out of the 24. I'm relatively happy just considering 3 out of my 6 highest exposure players were out on injury. The other 3 underperformed. So to get an over expected, I'm happy with it. So we end up going 2 out of 24. It's 1 out of 16 for BBM4. We almost advanced this Herzig team. We had multiple outlets to get that through. That was a Tyreek Hill squad with Nico, RIP. Big board, 5 out of 26. We're happy with. We advanced our Dalmatian, and here's the top. Here's my BBM4 exposures, at least, that made it through. We had some grenades. Now, right under Njoku, we did have Singletary, which helped. We had some good pieces, but like Ty Chandler getting there at the end of the season's just pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. We weren't on Ty for good reason. Logan, what's going on, my man? Welcome to the live stream. Dennis, what's up? Let's jump into some Battle Royales. And I've already had a chance to sort of digest this slate yesterday after the Monday night game. And it seems like we're off on Kyler here, which Kyler is in my top 6 this week. That's like just right away what I see. That sort of seems egregious to me. Now, weather could be a thing in Chicago, but not overly worried about weather with Kyler Murray, who can get it done on the ground. So we're also going to probably like this game anyways, from James Conner, from DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Justin Fields. So getting a piece of this game and maybe stacking Kyler Murray could be a nice little leverage piece over the field. Let's see, T-Law, I'd probably rank him 3rd or 4th this week against Tampa Bay. This is obviously a plus matchup. Beautiful weather in Tampa Bay, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, we'll see what happens with this. He ends up playing the rest of the game, right? So this is kind of like after the fact. They realize he had a concussion. So we'll see if he can play this week. It's going to be a little bit of risk reward, right? Because we know Tampa Bay is a pass funnel defense. So grabbing Calvin Ridley, who I think is ultra discounted, is that because T-Law has the chance to miss? Probably. But risk versus reward, I would have him ranked above Waddle this week if we were guaranteed T-Law to play. So I'm going to have a shit ton of Ridley. I'm going to assume that risk like we always do. You got to shoot for the ceiling. Tyreek Hill, I probably have a Monroe over JJ. Addison, I think, gets drafted too early just based on that one scoop off the ground play where he runs it in for a touchdown. He had a good game besides that, though. He really did. It's just with JJ back, with TJ Hawk, even Osborne getting a decent amount of snaps. I'm probably going to just take the bet that it's not Addison again this week. I think the 5 spot's kind of gross here. I think you can really go anyway. And I do think running backs deep late, like Aaron Jones. Dudes, I have Aaron Jones ranked above Breece Hall this week. So that's with or without Dylan playing too. You can easily put Aaron Jones up in this range. It's going to end up with DJ Moore and White. It seems kind of chalk. And the thing is, like with the tight ends, they all have good matchups. They're all playing like bottom 10 teams. Let's just stack this one with Fields and DJ Moore. Like, I'm probably just gonna want to spread these exposures on my tight ends, just based off of the QB I'm drafting around. Would it be crazy to put McBride above TJ Hawkinson too? Like, McBride's been getting 9, 9, 11. He's gonna be my target for this team as well as a bring back. TJ Hawk kind of taking a small backseat under the new QB, but the backup QB, I should say. So we can definitely take some stances here, especially early, where it's Tuesday. We're going to take some stances on Ridley. We're going to have a high amount of Ridley. We're going to have a high amount of Aaron Jones, because I do think you see Aaron Jones rise this week too. Chuba Hubbard, 3 games in a row, 24 plus touches. He's in play. It'd be crazy to say he's not in play. Like, that's a workhorse right there. And the thing is, like, Miles Sanders is staying around that like 25, 27% split on the field. That's fine. It's absolutely fine. McBride goes, which is just kind of like a kick in the dick, but we'll deal with it. Metcalf goes. Maybe. Oh, man, it's so chalk. It's right on the ADP. Let's go Ridley here. If we go Ridley. Okay. Let's go Hawk. We can bring it back with David Montgomery too. Like, David Montgomery's also in play. The fact that he goes this late, it's like we're forgetting that his role remains on the goal line. And this team can put up a lot of points. Now, if Jared Goff throws for 5 touchdowns, like, yeah, David Montgomery's not going to have a good game. But I wouldn't bet that Jared Goff's throwing another 5-titty game. Still getting the touches, 19 touches last week. So here, Ridley's gone. Who's our second receiver going to be? That's basically what I want to find. We can do an Arizona receiver, which is pretty spicy. We're going to go get our guy here. This is a go get your guy draft, I guess. I don't really have strong belief that Christian Watson's going to play this week. It was always Godwin. Get out of here. He is seeing a nice little uptick, though. 2 games in a row, 11 targets, 12 targets. Nice little uptick towards the back end of the season. Not a bad time to run hot. Curtis Samuel we were on last week over Terry, which is so gross, but it's so correct. It's in the end zone twice. Oh, God. Yeah, the receivers really thin out on the back end. You have Houston playing Tennessee week 17. I have a BBM Stroud, Nico, Treylon Burks. So gross. So gross. Before the season started, Treylon Burks is probably one of the field's biggest misses. D-Hop, maybe no Levis this week. Maybe no Levis. And then they're playing Seattle. So D-Hop, probably just a fade for me this week. Can play it from the Seattle side. Go Lockett, JSN. Addison's falling. But we already have Hawk, so it's not interested in that. Pittman would have been nice here. We're going to go David Montgomery here because he can't go a receiver anyways. It's probably going to be Drake London. Should we be giving Drake London a sizable bump with Heineke playing this week? That's my question. So we bring in our mini stack. Could also go an Arizona receiver, but it just seems so thin. Really does. It really does. I don't mind going James Conner there too as the bring back for our main stack game. This is just there's just really no one that I don't know. I think it's probably a negative play. We already have Hawks. I'm not bringing in Addison. I do think like Addison last round's fine, but he will be overdrafted because of what he did last week. It's just the copycat. It happens in DFS every week. Brandon Cooks is in play as a scroll too. That could be a fun little leverage play off Lamb. But we'll bring in Drake London with this one. Maybe we give him a small bump because Tyler Heineke's at QB. Noah Brown, week 17 piece you need. Gross. Does anyone have like what's the Noah Brown ownership look like? It's got to be under 1%. He had a good game last week. I would have had I think I had one Noah Brown or two Noah Brown shares. But that was early in the week where there was unknown about Stroud. He was likely not going to play, but unknown at the time. And then he ends up getting there. He got like 18 points or something. So shout out to Shock. He was in this draft with us. Baker Mayfield, Chuba Hubbard, Evans, Waldo Ridley, and Ferg. I like this team a lot. He's got his Baker stack, his bring back, his little Dallas, Miami stack, and Chuba Hubs. One of our scrolls. Let's go. King James in the house. All right, let's get another one going. Need to get more volume. Hopefully these last couple weeks. I haven't touched over 70 yet this season. So it's been tough. Let's go. It's been tough till you get the one spot. Shock back in the 6. All right, let's start this with Tyreek Hill. I'm not going to be super high on Tua this week, but if we're drafting Hill at 1, we're definitely going to want some Tua. He goes at 23, so that's more than fair, but Dak falls basically at ADP. So you are going to see a lot of chalky. You're going to see a lot of chalky Hill Dak teams. But at the same point where CeeDee Lamb goes second, how often is the Lamb team going to pass up on Dak? It's probably going to be less than 50%. That's probably the way I'd want to play this matchup, though, is Tyreek Hill with Dak over Tua. So let's see what comes back to us. Like Dallas is really good against receivers too. Like they ranked 4th, where Miami, they ranked 24th against receivers. We'll see if weather plays a part in this game. Suspected rain, but it's so early. It doesn't even matter. At home, should be warm. White goes at 4 before Monra. That's spicy in my opinion. Gibbs before Monra. I don't know, man. Like Gibbs, he's just going to be one of those players that are hard to project. He gets 13 touches. This is like the A-Chan role, right? This is like the A-Chan role. And he gets there. He gets 2 touchdowns. But I have a feeling like it's going to be a Monty week. I like to start from shock drama. It is definitely deeper at RB this week than it is wide receiver. Wide receivers fall off. Definitely feels like a 2 RB type slate. Dude, Amari Cooper going off at 10. That's some strong conviction right there. The 2 wide receiver slate, unless you get 3 of these guys. This has to be Dak, right? He goes Evans. Cool. All right. So let's do this. We should be able to get Ferg on the back end for our little Dak stack. Let's start with this. This is the week where I'm just going to get my guys all week. We're not playing around. We're not playing that ADP game. Of course, if a rare combo falls to us, we're more than welcome to entertain it. But we're going to go make our teams, make the teams we want to make, and focus those matchups we are high on this week. Sunday. Christmas Eve. 44. Actually higher than I thought for this game. Colts versus Falcons. 36.5. Not surprised. 37.5. We'll see Brian Robinson probably coming back this week. Lions, Vikings, 47. Cowboys, Miami, 51. Fields goes off the board at 14. Which I don't really mind. Let's see what Shock does. Goes the Hawk. He's sweating it right now. He's absolutely sweating it. He goes Goff. The Joke off the board. The Joke who's been on fire. He's been on fire with Flacco. Trey McBride gone. Is this guy just going to randomly go Ferg? He should be able to bring in Ingram here. A little Jacksonville correlation with Mike Evans. We'll see if he does it. He was Brian Robinson. Okay, that's fine. Let's hashtag get our guy and then go Ferg. Or we can go double RB here too. I don't think we need to necessarily. Only one team needs a tight end, right? Only one team needs a tight end. We'd be making the bet that this guy wants Evan Ingram, though. If he takes Ferguson, this team's kind of dead. If we go RB there and we can't bring in like Brandon Cooks on the back end, I think our team would be dead. So we'll just we'll go Ferg. He brings in Ingram. And it's got to be an RB on the back end. Like, look how late K-Walk goes. K-Walk's going to start getting driven up the board, I think, a little bit. Chuba, all these RBs, like, they're all in play. Man, Derrick Henry's had some absolute busts this year. After 3 games in a row of 2 touchdown games, now we might see Tannehill back. Levis high ankle sprain. We'll see. That usually takes 2 weeks. A team that's not in the playoffs, like, there's no real reason to push Levis back. I'd be surprised if he plays. James Conner. Brings in his little correlation with Arizona and Chicago. He goes K-Walk. We say a name and Shock takes him. It's that simple. It's that simple. I don't love going both RBs in the same game, but only one person can pick a running back in front of us. Like shit. Why not? Even JT. Like, why not? There is a case for why not on Tony Pollard. There is a case. Fuck, but he should be in the discussion. He should be in the discussion. Let's see what Buster Boy does. Take Tony Pollard. Yes. Let's rely on Hill. Achane could be involved a lot if they're playing from behind. Just sort of what I'm expecting this game to look like, but I don't know if they're really going to be able to establish the run and play the type of ball that they have been playing. Let's rely on Tyreek Hill at 1 there. It is fine to onslaught, though. Like, it really is. Onslaught Miami, onslaught Dallas. Multiple pieces. Completely fine. What's going on, Connor? Back to 6. Yeah, back to back at 6. Gross. Yeah, it does. It does, but it usually is. It usually is. All right, now we get the 6 spot. We get punished. Put us on the back end. What if A-Chain has a James Cook game? I know. So last week was actually it was only the second time that we really got crushed, and it wasn't even that bad because we're on other pieces, but we were not on James Cook. It's like the classic copycat. James Cook has a good week the week before. He gets overdrafted and he hits again. It's like, fuck. Fuck. But we're just leveraging it on other sides of the ball. It's going to happen. You have to be able to take those licks. We got Logan in the 3 spot. We got Brian in the 2 spot. No badge, no badge. 85. Adam, right? I believe this is Adams. No badges, man. Underdog is alive and well. Alive and well. Yeah. All over James Cook, but whiffed on Waddle and tight end. So Waddle wasn't going drafted in some of my drafts that we did early on. We did Waddle as our pick swap. We ended with I think 7 or 8 teams. We were drafting Hill quite a bit, quite aggressively. So luckily we're able to do an even swap Hill for Waddle, but other teams were getting a first round pick plus Waddle on those teams. So you obviously needed CMC. A 101 type week. We might not see that this week, though. Might not see that this week. Rashad White's usage has been insane. It's been insane. Well, if we just skip this tier. TJ Moore, Laporta. Let's do this. See if Fields comes back. I wouldn't be overly surprised if we see some Fields teams falling. But it is nice where JJ goes. You're like, Gibbs is going to stay in this range. It's going to be an obvious stack. I almost might like JJ and DeMont better just because of the high ownership of JJ and Gibbs. Just something to think about. ER7, welcome to the live stream, man. We got 2 teams going to the semis in BBM4. Could be better, could be worse. Are you doing any Christmas drafts? Probably not. We're gonna have family up. Probably not. But yeah, so 25% chance to make the finals with one team, and then a 1 out of 220.5 chance to win 1 million plus. Oh shit. So 1 in 4 years, if you advance 2 teams every year to the semis, 1 in 4 years, you'll get 1 in, and then 1 in 220 years, you'll win 1 million plus. But what other odds do you have that are better than that to win 1 million or 3 million? You know what I mean? You probably don't. Probably don't. These are the best odds. It's as good as it gets. Fields goes at 14. Almost made it back. Evans gone? Evans is gone too, huh? Dude, I didn't even see that. Evans went at 4. It's not crazy. Okay, let's do this here. Let's do this. This could be either Trevor Lawrence or Baker Mayfield, preferably Trevor Lawrence, though. Preferably Trevor Lawrence. Who goes off the board is, I think, QB6. Yeah, he's QB6 this week against Tampa Bay. Just seems wrong. Zay Jones is a nice scroll. Parker Washington is a name. It's a name. He had a good week against Cincy. Let's check those. Jacksonville. Let's see the snaps. What's the rookie getting? 45%. But Zay Jones taking up 61%. Zay Jones got hurt too. Zay Jones got hurt somewhere in like the early mid fourth quarter. So he missed out, but he's the clear wide receiver 2 on this team. So Zay Jones could be a nice little leverage piece if he can get back. I believe it's a knee injury. Consider week to week. Head? No, hamstring. Okay. Hamstring. That's right. That's right. He pulled up. Not the best sign, though. Not the best sign of hammy. Maybe we'll stay away from Zay Jones. If Ridley's going to hit like a ceiling game, though, it's going to be against Tampa Bay this week. J-Dub's in the house. Noah, what's going on, guys? You too. Good luck. Good luck. Yeah, we my commissioner league that I lost Chubb and Andrews. We're playing Johnny Parlay, throwback to the channel for the Pounders that have been around for a while. Johnny Parlay versus us. We took down the brother last week with a Ty Chandler start. It was funny though, because he had Josh Jacobs and he starts Zamir White. So it was like battle of the backups. Obviously, Zamir White plays first. They played on Thursday. I'm like, God damn, this man got 16 from Zamir, and he could have had a bigger game too. There was a 100-point score in that game. But we got him back with the Ty Chandler start. Season on the line. Season on the line. Did we go back to the Ty Chandler well here? I hate it. Against Detroit, I don't love it. Detroit ranking 3rd against running backs in half-point PPR. We could probably find fantasy points somewhere else. Dude. T-Law goes, which is fine. We have Baker still, but like the disrespect. The disrespect. Man. Did we just grab Tony freaking TP? Did we grab TP here? I'm not gonna have a ton of them. But when he falls 10 picks, I feel like we should bring him in. It's also leverage off Lamb. If they're playing from ahead, maybe he gets some more run. I really gotta sell it though. I really gotta sell it. Aaron Jones is gone. Like, I'm going Aaron Jones over Tony Pollard. It could be wrong. Even a freaking blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then, but let's see how these teams turned out. So he's bringing in Zay Jones here, I'm assuming, which he probably doesn't play. Pick swap for Parker Washington. Yeah, I don't think he plays with the hamstring. And if he does, typically hamstring injuries do hinder performance when you return. So I don't know if I love it. Dak brings in Brandon Cooks at the end. Super live. Super live. I like that draft. Could be a little Parker Washington pick swap at the end. Could be fun if Zay Jones can't go. Logan says I messed up my draft in this one. It happens, especially early in the week. Damn, you maybe know Chubb, no Andrews. Yeah, we picked up Achan early. He helped us get some dubs early. I can try to pull up that team. The Commissioner League. The Commissioner League. Looks good. Here it is. Sports. Max Payne. Full point PPR, DK bonuses. We also do like QB 400 yards is an extra 4 points. 500 yards is an extra 5 points. Same thing with the running backs. We have the 100, the 150, the 200. It really makes for just like really exciting scoring. Because anything can happen. You could be down 25 with DK Metcalf, and he puts up a 150-yard game and a touchdown, and he's probably hitting it. Let's pull this up. This is going to blind everyone, though. Just a public service announcement here. This is the no Chubb, no problem. The second I change my team name to that, like Mark Andrews goes down. I'm like, oh, now I'm absolutely screwed. I was just handcuffing running backs, though. Like this whole season, I was just handcuffing running backs. We got a start out of Clyde that helped us win week 14 to put us into the playoffs. Like it was close all the way through. It was close all the way through. Week 14. Like I needed this to get in because where is it? The 7th place team. He won. He has more points than me season long. So I would have been bounced. Just crazy. I like when it comes down to the wire like that, though. I like when it comes down to the wire. So we just took down Wally, and we got him again this week. Little revenge game. I don't know if I don't know how I feel about Nico this week against Cleveland, but all right, we get Lamb at 2. Sorry for the auto. Logan goes Amon-Ra at 3. I'm not fully sold on White yet. I know he's got a shit ton of usage, so I'm going to have some shares. Weather shouldn't be a problem in Tampa Bay. They're at home. I'm going to have some White this week. I'm just not fully sold. Although I think that's going to be a close game too. So the run should be in play the whole game. DJ Moore, that was an easy click for us if he doesn't go there. We are going to go Dak here. Like this has got to be the most chalky thing. Ridley. With Chino back, are we getting might be getting a small discount on DK right now. Could double stack with Jake Ferguson at the end. We could just grab Achane late too as our correlation. I think a lot of these teams, just because the way ADPs line out, like a lot of them are going to have Mostert, a lot of them are going to have Waddle, and then after you bring in that piece, you're not bringing in a second Miami piece. Typically not against Dallas's defense. So I think an easy way to get different is to just bring in Achane late. I don't mind this double stack though on the back end. King James doesn't have a tight end, so maybe this is going to be Komet. Njoku off the board. All right, as long as no one goes double tight end. There's Komet, there's Ingram, and Ferg. We don't need to force the Ferg pick, too. I'm completely cool with just pushing him to last round. We already have our Dallas correlation, so it wouldn't be the end of the world. If he goes, we could also... I don't like the idea of double wide receiver, like bringing in Cooks and Lamb. He benches the quarterback like it was the quarterback's fault. He benches the quarterback, guys. Arthur Smith benches the quarterback. Like, sure, he's not great, but like, was it really? Did you guys lose to Carolina because Ritter or because you ran the ball 7 times with your best player on your team? A little bit of both. A little bit of both. Let's go Achane here. Logan snipes Aaron Jones, knows he's not coming back to him probably. Go Demont. Brees Hall goes. I'm cool with one of these two. Do those running backs sort of earn a role after having a monster game? Moss plans to try to play. Let's go Demont here. It's such good leverage off of Monra teams, the Gibbs teams, the Laporta teams, that Monty puts in 2 touchdowns on the ground. Yes, I love this. It's exactly what I said I wanted to build. Love it. Gonna have a lot of teams with this variation right here. Trey McBride, Kyler, and DJ Moore. With with Aaron Jones. Both your dynasty teams are in the semis. Auction league, super fun. My first player I ever auctioned on in a dynasty league was Trey McBride this past season. $10 out of $1,000 auction. It was always CEH. Oh my god, you're gonna get Vinny all boned up. What's a good scroll this week? That's uncommon. There's a shit ton, really. Like I think Parker Washington, if Zay Jones doesn't play, is definitely live. Let's see if there's anyone that's like not getting drafted. We should get Ferg here, unless Logan absolutely destroys our life. Cool. Marquise, if he plays against Chicago, is fine as a scroll. I don't think Watson plays this week. That hamstring injury is It looked pretty gross. JSN's live, especially if Gino's back this week, which is what we expect. Reed, Singletary. Now, this is a tough matchup, but when you're getting 30 touches against Tennessee, I don't think he's getting 30 again, but he's definitely live. Terry, I'm out on, even though he had a good game. Let's pull it up. NFL main slate. Brandon Cooks is in play. Chuba Hubbard getting 24 plus touches 3 games in a row. Just because he doesn't get in the end zone here doesn't mean you shouldn't be clicking him. Tyler Lockett. Noah Brown, I'm probably just going to be out on against Cleveland, even if Stroud's back. But yeah, those are probably the main clicks. I don't think you have to do anything too fancy this week, to be honest. I think it's really going to come down to hitting on those 2 running backs, getting that QB pairing, and your bringbacks. But definitely feels like a 2 RB slate again. But if you get 2 of these guys, I'm probably just gonna be out on Waddle this week. Cooper had a nice game. 18.9. It's serviceable as a flex. Like, this is probably how high I'd have Ridley. If you can get me 3 of these guys, I think it's live. It's definitely live, but more than not, like, running backs spike more often and they have higher spike potential. So just seems like a smarter, safer bet with the higher ceiling, like, to just go running back where you can guarantee yourself like 20 plus touches from Chuba Hubbard. He gets in the end zone twice. David Montgomery, goal line cat, like Goff throws 5 touchdowns. It's not going to happen again. So he's still getting, he's in that 13 to 20 range, 13 to 19 range for touches. That's fine for a goal line guy. Derrick Henry looks so dusty, but I'll be underweight, but I'll definitely be sprinkling him in. Maybe like Gino's in play. Where the hell does Gino go? Gino's like way down. Gino's definitely in play. So maybe a little bring back with Derrick Henry. Such an easy way to leverage the slate when you hit on a quarterback that either doesn't go drafted or he's, under 5%. If you hit on the optimal QB at that position, you're leveraging 95% of the field. If you hit on the optimal QB, especially if it's a pocket passer, you're typically hitting on the receivers. So, yeah, we're going to try to mix some of that shit in this week. Guys, there's a quick one tonight. Going to be back. What's today? We're definitely going to be back tomorrow with another stream. We're going to be interviewing John Karuk, the winner of the Dog Bowl, on Friday. So stay tuned for that. Hit the bell for notifications. Slap the like on the way out. Appreciate you guys coming out. Have a good night. Pounders.